Metalheads, we come in many different shapes, forms, attitudes, and that means there is a bunch of different genres of metal out there to suit everyone. But which genre of metal is the best? Which genre is the truest and the cultiest? Metal lovers would say they're all the best. They're all amazing. Metal elitists would say they all suck and they should be ashamed of themselves. While based and true, I wanted to take a moment to thank our amazing sponsor today, Otto Audio. They're sponsoring this video so we can showcase their amp sim, the 1111. This boy is an absolute monster. What struck me the most was just how versatile it is. That made it a perfect candidate to do a battle of the metal genres, and it does all of them very well. I was very impressed how easily it fit into multiple metal genres, and really just how quickly it sat into a mix. Seriously, it took very little effort to get it to sit in at all. Otto Audio was awesome enough to make me some banks that I used for this video that I will have available for you guys to get. I don't know, he made me something like 20, I don't know, a ton. He made a bunch of them, and he already has a crap load already available when you purchase it. You can get mine in the links in the description. And as if that wasn't already awesome enough, they are giving you 50% off the 1111 when you check out. Just click the link in the description, use my code BTK50 at checkout, and you will get half off the product. This robust of an amp sim for that price is pretty insane. I would highly recommend taking advantage of this. And I'm not just saying that because they sponsored the video. Want to try it before you buy it? Well, they also offer a 14-day free trial. Again, just click that link in the description and go get it for yourself. I recommend amp sims quite frequently on my live streams, and the 1111 not only competes with those, it does several things better that those other amp sims don't do. I would definitely recommend it. I'll be using the 1111 frequently in my future work, and for half off, it's basically a no-brainer, honestly. This thing slays. Whether you're a beginner and have no idea what you're doing and just want something that sounds great very fast, or if you're a guy who is more advanced and a tone snob and want to get really granular with your gain structure, this is the amp for you. It will work amazingly for you. Again, click the link in the description, use my code BTK50 to get half off your purchase of 1111, and be sure to check out their 14-day free trial. And there's another link down there to the specific banks that he made for me that you can get yourself. Thank you, Otto Audio, for sponsoring this
Battle of the Metal Genres.
And one more quick thing, I want you to vote who wins in this one. I want you to go to those comments and let me know which genre wins the battle. Which one's the best? Okay, let's get into it. First up, we have metalcore. Metalcore is basically the popular kid at school. He's very well liked by a lot of people, and he's very likable when you first meet him. But there is a group of people who resent metalcore for its popularity. And considering how much opportunity there is to interact with metalcore, it can kind of feel like his personality is just skin deep. But undeniably, metalcore comes with some gravity, some big angst, and some big choruses. Let's try out some metalcore. Okay, sick. Next we have classic metal, the OG, the old school, the beginning of it all. Whether you're talking Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, they all make the foundation of this fun and entertaining and exciting genre that we love. It is hard to argue with the timelessness, but there are some who think that this genre is past its prime. Yeah, that was heavy back in the day, but we have way heavier stuff now. You don't want to be a poser, do you? You always got to crank it up to 11. You see what I did there? All right, fine. Look, here's some classic metal. Up the irons. All right, next we have death metal. Massive, blazing fast, and ominous. Death metal is kind of like the kid who's on the spectrum who has no social awareness or subtlety. They can either be incredibly blunt and brutal or be filled with a decent amount of complexity. That abrasiveness can turn some people off, and sometimes that complexity can get some people lost in conversation, but you know for certain they are being completely honest. Death metal has no filter. And frankly, some of those guitar tones should, because really, guys, we don't need 16,000 hertz coming out of your amplifier. Here's some death metal. I had to give some love to Deathclock. Next up, we have progressive metal. Equal parts extreme and complex. Progressive metal is the kid in school who is incredibly smart, and he really wants you to know that he is incredibly smart. And I mean, he is. Sometimes there's a lot of really cool fresh takes that you can get from prog that makes you rethink everything you took for granted. But there's also a lot of times where prog gets so far up his own butt, he loses touch with reality. Let's do some prog. Sorry, I had to. Prog is one of the worst offenders of flexing, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. But here's another example of a possible different flavor of prog. Sweet. Next up, we have metal, monster energy, Call of Duty. Thick boy. Okay, next we have doom metal. Some people consider this the purest form of metal because it's the genre that sounds most like old Black Sabbath, the first metal band. Others aren't even sure if it qualifies as metal just because there's nothing that sounds like that in metal these days. Doom metal is the stoner kid in class who has read every work of H.P. Lovecraft and is totally fine with failing his classes. I mean, after all, trying is overrated. Here's some doom metal. You can't say it without saying doom metal, doom. Just no care for elegance. There's something admirable about that. Okay, next is thrash metal. Thrash metal is the edgy libertarian kid who thinks that everything is the system trying to control us. He's got an abrasive attitude, but he's also undeniably kind of likable. And every so often he makes a pretty good point. But he's also the one trying to convince you that sleeping with him is really just fighting our system of oppressors. Here's thrash metal. metal up your bum. What? Next we have power metal, the D&D LARPer kid who doesn't realize everyone is making fun of him, but doesn't really care because, see, there's dragons to fight. In the immortal words of Royal Jester. So we spread our wings up high and let the darkness pass us by. Yes, we spread our wings and fly together to the sky. Power metal never dies. So which genre do you think is superior? Which ones did I miss? Let me know in the comments down below. I wanted to quickly take the time to thank our sponsor, Otto Audio. Again, this amp sim is really something special. I highly recommend you get that 14-day free trial and use my code in the description to get half off. Again, it's a really good price for what you get. I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to get a tone you're going to love, especially for beginners because they might get intimidated by all the bells and whistles. Otto Audio have included a ton of banks to pull up so that very quickly you're gonna find a tone you fall in love with. All right guys, this is how simple it is to find a tone you like when you have no idea what you're doing with this amp sim. So okay, I got some guitar recorded here. This is the direct signal or the DI signal, and let's just play that back with the amp on. I got the V30 power forward mix loaded up. Let's take a listen. Beefy, forward, lots of low character, lots of mid character, some cool high character. It's just a friggin' mean full tone. But if we take a look here, these are all presets right here. So if we click on this guy, our presets will open up and you can go to all of my delicious and fun presets. So let's go to Chuggiest. Let's see what that sounds like. That's sick. All right, let's see what else we have. Just click this arrow. Classic metal, okay. Death metal tone, scooped. A different kind of scooped character for the death metal tone. The doom tone. Future gent. Heavier than a real amp. It's just fat. Okay, so included with the banks that he made for me are some like metal artist clones, if you will. This is one for James Hetfield. Another one. Real scooped one. Totally fat. And you also have this guy that kind of sounds like some Dimebag tone. That's mean. And those are just my banks that he made for me. He has a bunch of other ones here as well. This one's absolutely massive. That's the name of it. Huge. Brutal. Again, huge. This one, Future Sounds Now, I was really digging. It's got a mean character to it. But that's how easy and quick it is to punch through all of these sounds. Just find something that might look interesting. Just click these arrows and find something you fall in love. You will find something you fall in love with. This thing is dope. And if it's close, but you're not quite sure, just mess with these knobs on the front of it. Yeah, just do a little mess. Just do a little mess on here. This next section is for the more technically inclined, the tone purists, if you will. All right, so you got your usual amplifier knobs, you know, preamp gain, bass, treble, middle, master, presence, depth. If you click on this guy right here, this will bring up your impedance curves, which gives you 9 separate options. I believe you have more neutral ones up here, you have scooped ones, and then you have forward ones. I believe that's the order that it's in. You got your input and your output knobs down here for your raw signal. And then this guy right here is basically the gain section. So this kind of determines what kind of gain character you're going to be working with. And he doesn't say exactly what it is, because I'm pretty sure these are each combinations of both preamps and whatever other distortion you would throw in front of it. It's not technically a preamp section, though you could kind of think of it that way. So over here you have a mono or a stereo option. You can put on a stereo option. That's one of the reasons why they made this plugin to begin with, was so that they could get that 2 cabinet effect. it is really cool seeing how chewy and awesome and massive this thing is coming out of your monitors, or if you have like a guitar monitor that you would use for the stage or something. You can also do oversampling up to here, up to 8 times, and you can flip the faceplate, and we got all of the fine tuning stuff here. Over here, you have your IR selection, so you can load up 2 different IRs and you can balance between them to see how you like it. That's what the resonance part is here, to kind of dial in exactly where you like it. Your amplitude is pushing your power amp section as far as just raw loudness, and it responds like a real power amp. And then you have, you know, your bias, your sag, your feedback, your snarl, which are all characters of the power amp. You can switch between different power tubes over here, and, you know, just some other little fun stuff. There's also your noise gate right there. Some people like noise gate, other people don't. But yeah, you can get exceedingly granular with this thing. It's pretty incredible. Oh, and you can also load IRs from this front section. Right here, he has 22, as he says, hand-selected IRs that he likes a lot. This amp sim is exceedingly robust. This is a seriously mean piece of gear, man. I'm truly honored to put my name next to this, and I am so happy that Otto Audio sponsored today's video. Again, go to the link in my description, do the 14-day free trial, use my code BTK50 at checkout to get half off, and be sure to go to that other link that's down there so you can grab the banks that you heard in this video, made for me and made for you. All right, I love you guys. See you later.